Yo, happy Friday, everybody. It is Friday. It is June 11th, 2021. It is 5 p.m. California time, Standard Pacific time, and I am here to lead a workshop. The name of this workshop is Writing to Heal, using writing as a tool for healing. So in a minute, we're going to have some guests come in here, and we're going to be doing some writing and some sharing, and we're going to be doing some thinking and reflecting, and it's going to start a process of healing. That is why people come to me. I am an author, teacher, and book coach, and I was able to start my healing process way back in 2017 with the writing of my first book, Secrets. So what I do today is I help authors write their first book in 90 days or less. And if you're interested, go to my website, myfirstbook.org, and I can help you get your ideas out into the world. And I can help you start motivating and inspiring other people. But before you can do that, you have to motivate and inspire yourself. So today, hopefully, will be your day one, right, of your healing process. If you've already started writing, awesome. If you haven't started writing, let's get busy now. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and wait for a couple people to come in here. And, oh, I need to send the link to Dashala. Let's see, Dashala's coming. Okay, where is it? Copy, invitation. There we go. All right, Dasha's coming on in here. Here she comes. Yay. All right, I'll give a couple more minutes for more people to get in here, and then we will start the workshop. So give me about 3 minutes. All right, I'm back, and here comes Dashala Trammell. Hey, I'm glad you made it. I guess it was buried somewhere in all the emails. Woo, so I'm going to wait about 2 minutes, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. There's a couple people that RSVP'd, but it's Friday night, so you never know. They might be out on a date.
It's Friday night. Hey.
Just cafe.
Go look at my my titles. I changed most of them.
Let me see. Wow. Woo, I see you pepped up. You pepped up. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
I was just feeling some kind of way earlier.
Oh, wow. This is it, right? Okay. Yep. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about sex. Yes. Rock the bells. Yes. No, not again. It's like that. Wow. Don't believe the hype. I love it. Freaks come out at night. Yes. Yes. Okay. Did you change?
I was the LL Cool J. I need love.
Mhm. Oh, I didn't even see that. Chapter 12. Okay.
That's the boyfriend chapter. The ain't no half stepping is my army days. And then I thought about Whitney. I want to dance with somebody.
Wow.
That's me and my husband.
I love it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Did you change it here?
I did.
In the
Mhm. At
actual,
the beginning of each chapter.
yeah.
Yeah, I believe I did. That's the
Okay.
introduction. I mean, yeah, yeah, I did. Okay,
Beautiful. And then you just went back up to the top and just clicked
yeah,
update.
update. Mhm.
Perfect. Perfect. You got it.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's talk about sex, baby. Rock the bells. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's like that was when the lady kicked me out because I drank the apple juice. Craziness. Hmm. She now doesn't know who I am. She has Alzheimer's.
Oh.
Mhm. Yeah, I didn't do that part. I think I wrote stuff, but
Oh no,
yeah.
I'm just trying to see this little chat box.
Oh, what I wrote.
I might
wrote
have
some,
done that as an example.
maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I'll leave it
Okay.
alone. I love it. I love these
Yeah.
titles.
So I'm not finished, but I was like, okay, yeah, what can I hype it up?
Because you know you want to get them to be like,
I want to get them to be like,
what is she talking about?
yeah.
Wow.
So that is awesome. Yeah.
I love it.
So I also made an appointment with you.
I saw that Monday. Perfect.
Mhm.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Set aside all Monday. I just set aside Monday manuscript. That's it.
Okay.
Just so I can keep
I
my
need
brain.
it. I don't want to feel like that too many more days.
Yeah. And it's
But I know it's because I'm coming to a close of that chapter. So
it's like you're inside of a little fish bowl
yes.
and you're
I'm too
getting
big for the
bigger.
fish bowl.
You're getting bigger and bigger every day.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, why am
I saw a prophetess who had a 9-to-5 job, and she was talking about how she left. Now I've been following her for a couple of years. Her name is Sophia Ruffin, and she literally wrote herself out of poverty. She has five books, and she speaks on all kinds of platforms. But I met her when she just left the job, and she probably had her first book, and she was a Facebook prophet. Now she goes, people ask for her. People want her on their platform.
Tell me her name.
Her name is Sophia Ruffin. Like with a no, I think Sophia is a PH. With the N at the with UFF. No, that's her. That's her.
She's beautiful.
Yeah. And she has the coming out story that she did on what is the gosh. She was a homosexual who came out of it. And she tells her deliverance story. And her first one, she was a basketball player. And she says, I think she calls it from it's something like 2 P's, from something to profit, something like that. From basketball to profit. I don't remember what the title of it is, but I just got a book from her called Set Free and Delivered. And she basically, I think it was From Prodigal to Profit. She basically wrote herself out of poverty. Yeah. And now she just launched, she has a brand called the Comeback Kid. And she launched hats. So Ferrora hats. She launched that in May, I think. Those hats that she have on, the hats she has on. Even when he was mad. Yeah, Comeback Kid.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I saw her. Yeah, she a powerful speaker.
Oh,
I
she's
saw her
screaming.
transition. Like what? Just walked off her job and started writing.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and I was like, I gotta follow people like that because it inspires me. It inspires me. If God could do it for them, he could do it for me too. And then there's a brand called, I think it's called Dope and Still Saved. And that jacket she has on, she became a brand. Somebody took a picture of her back at the airport and she became a brand ambassador for, yeah. But yeah, she has a powerful testimony. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I saw her before all of this. Like when she was on Facebook talking, she was a Facebook preacher in her car talking to us.
That's how it all starts.
Yeah.
Right there on that cell phone.
Right on her cell phone. Right on her cell phone and went big time. So yeah. So Sophia Ruffin inspired me. And one day I just emailed her, was like, how did you do it? And then she sent me an ebook, how to write a book in 10 days.
That's what's up.
So I'm here. So that's, I can't be looking at people that's not doing nothing, just talking about it. I can't, not in this season.
She's amazing.
I want to learn what you know so that I could do it. I don't want to. That's why I had to. It's cutoff season for me. It's realignment. It's reset. It's reset time. So.
Well, this is a divine appointment. This is beautiful because there was 8 ladies registered for tonight. I just emailed each one of them today and they didn't say anything. So it's probably going to be me and you.
Let's do it.
So this is a workshop. So this is going to show you what to do with your work. When you're finished with your ebook, this is going to be what you do with your ebook. When people buy it, as a thank you, you invite them to a workshop and say, you bought my book, you believed in me, thank you. I'm doing a special workshop just for you. And we're gonna walk through that ebook and we're gonna do some work. So this is awesome. The message that I have shifted into is the writing for healing, and people are paying attention. I mean, people are paying attention, they're gravitating toward it, but I also noticed that this is what's happening too. They're jumping in and they're excited, but then they pull back. They're jumping in, they're excited, but then they take a step back because they're like, I don't know if I'm ready. So that's what's starting to happen to the ladies and the gentlemen that have gravitated and have perked their ears up. Even on Clubhouse, you see how people came in because they saw the title, they saw, and they said, huh, but then they kind of said, I'm not ready for this discussion. So I'm excited because we're at the ground floor.
That was me. I wasn't ready. I was feeling like people were going to judge me. My biggest issue was not wanting to hurt my family. That was my biggest issue. You know, that's why I decided not to drop names. If you notice throughout the only names you see is myself and my husband. and my mother-in-law who's now deceased. But other
Yes.
than that, you don't see any names in there. And that's why I have to change probably my my author bio, because I drop all the names and all the things in there. And so I have to change it a little bit. But yeah, that was my biggest issue. I don't want to hurt nobody, but then you hurt me and didn't protect me. I have to get this out. It's not my story to keep, it's my story to tell. It's God's story to tell through me.
Woo-wee. All right, let's get busy. We're going to be
All right.
writing. Make sure you have your pen and your paper. We're about to get into it right now. And I am recording this. This is going in the course so that it is accessible so people can learn. This is how we do a workshop based around the ebook that we created. So I'm just going to go right over to Canva, which is where I created this quick, short ebook. And this ebook, I'll be honest, this is one of the ones that probably took me about 30 minutes to create. Because once you start moving and shaking through Canva, it don't take that long, 30, 40 minutes. Once you really get the hang of it, it's only 20 pages long. And I mean, it's real basic. Okay, so here we go. Hello, everybody. My name is Latasha L.T. Jimerson, and welcome to the webinar. Tonight, we're going to be talking about how to write to reveal and heal your own hidden traumas. Now, this is a sensitive topic. This is a very, 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 very personal topic. So if you have any kids in the room, you might want to give them something to do. You might want to put on your own little headset because this conversation can get very spicy very quickly. Everyone here is invited to participate by writing their answers on paper. We're not going to do too much chatting in the chat tonight because I really want you to get a mind-body connection. And that means your hand is literally going to be writing on the page. Your hand's going to be touching the paper. That's a grounding strategy to get you out of your thinking, and into writing, doing, and sharing. So we're going to talk about revealing and healing. We're going to talk about traumas. We're going to get as deep as you feel comfortable getting tonight. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so basic questions. The first thing is, what is your name and what do you do? It's basically, what do you do that you love, that you want to be known for, right? That's it, 2 or 3 words. So what is your name? What do you do? You're going to write that down on a sheet of paper, and we're going to share this at the end. So you're going to have a whole long list of things, and you're going to read all of them and share. So that's the first 2. What's your name? And then what do you do? All right, the next 2 are, what is your passion and what is your profession? And hopefully one day, both of those things will be the same, right? So my passion is self-publishing, and my profession for the past 20 years has been teaching. And so those are the 2 things. And now my profession and my passion are the same thing because I'm teaching self-publishing. So this is what we want to do. We want to get people closer to the point where their passion and their profession are aligned and they're really living that abundant life that we hear about, that abundant life, you know, love, joy, and abundance. And that's really where you're getting up every morning and you're doing something that makes you excited, something that lights you up, and you're making a difference in the world. That's really what you want your profession to be. But sometimes we are told that we can't do that. You know, people say, well, you can't do that full time because you need to, whatever. We're busting through that myth. We can have our profession and our passion at the same time. All right, so okay, so what's your name? What do you do? What's your passion? What's your profession? And here's another question, 2 questions. What makes you happy and what makes you sad? Those 2 things. And that could just be a 3 or 4 words for each one. It doesn't have to be like a whole long story. All right. So what makes you happy? What makes you sad? Okay. What is your biggest fear? What is your biggest fear? What really just makes you super nervous? What is it that you're like, oh no, I could never do that? All right, now here's a flip. Let's flip that coin onto the other side. What would you try if you knew you could not fail? If you knew there was no way you could fail, what would you try? What big, bold action would you try? You see, the questions are getting a little bit deeper, a little bit deeper. Start out real surface. Woo. All right. Now, what holds you back from getting to your dreams? I imagine being like running a marathon and just running. All of a sudden, like stepping into a pothole. And I'm like, I can see the finish line is right there. But there's something that I'm stuck in it, right? That's what happens. We get out and then we keep running, and then there's another little pothole. And it's like, whoop, man, I wish I could just keep going. Sometimes there's just stuff. And then you have to stop and deal with it and process it. And then you can move. Then you learn how to like see the pothole and then walk around it. So yeah, what holds you back from getting to your dreams? And that might be connected to that fear question. All right, you ready? Okay, so go to Google and type in the word trauma. And I'm going to go to Google here on my phone too. I'm just going to type in trauma. And we're going to look at what is the definition. So for me, I just pulled it up. It says trauma, and it has 2 definitions. It says it's a noun, 2 definitions. The first one is a deeply distressing or disturbing experience. And it has an example, a personal trauma like the death of a child. Then number 2, it says physical injury, like a rupture of the diaphragm caused by a blunt trauma. But then if you scroll down, there's a couple of additional notes. There's one that says 3 types of trauma, and then there's another one that says 4 types of trauma. So as people have studied trauma, the literature is starting to expand. Like we're starting to learn more and more and more about it. So what caught my attention the last time I was looking this up for last week or the week before, I was looking at the 3 main types, and I thought it was so interesting because it says acute trauma. Acute trauma is severe panic or extreme anxiety, confusion, or irritation. Disassociation of feelings of being disconnected from one's and their surroundings, disconnected from oneself and or their surroundings. Lack of self-care, poor grooming, loss of focus or production at school or at work, insomnia, suspiciousness or acting in strange ways. These are some of the symptoms of acute trauma, like serious trauma. And then there's chronic trauma. Okay, what is chronic trauma? Chronic trauma results from exposure to multiple chronic and or prolonged overwhelming traumatic events over an extended period of time. For example, it includes undergoing treatment for an illness, domestic violence, child abuse, sexual abuse, exposure to war, combat situations, okay? And then the last one that I see on here is complex trauma. Complex trauma results from exposure to varied or multiple traumatic events or experiences, often within the context of an interpersonal relationship. Is usually interpersonal, occurs between people, involves a feeling of being trapped, is often planned, extreme, or ongoing, and as repeated, often has more severe and persistent impacts, involves challenges with shame, trust, self-esteem, may involve coping strategies such as alcohol or drug use, self-harm, overeating or undereating, affects emotional and physical health, overall well-being, relationships, and daily functioning. So that's complex trauma, chronic trauma, acute trauma. And that's from Psychology Psych Legal blog. And it's like, to me, when I think about all those definitions, I feel like in my life, I've experienced all the different kinds of trauma, like the short-term trauma of being jumped on by a dog. Didn't try to bite me, he just jumped on me and I was like, I didn't know. I was a little kid and I was scared. And then the extra trauma was when I was in the backyard and I looked inside the house and my cousins were in the window laughing because they left me out there with the dog so they could see my reaction. And so that humiliated me. That was like my first experience with being publicly humiliated. And so that was traumatic. And then 35 years later, my husband gets the same kind of dog and he brings it to the house and he don't tell me. And I'm going in the backyard to throw something in the trash and I see that dog and I'm like, oh, and now I'm traumatized all over again. And he's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, wow, that's a trigger. And he's like, well, what's going on? I said, okay, let me tell you the story of when I was traumatized by a dog. And so I'm still going through that in therapy, still working through that. We have dogs here at the house, but I don't really interact with them because of that trauma. So it's real. It's so many different levels. It's so many different layers. And as we continue to study this area, we're going to find out more and more and more. But see, right now it's so interesting because a lot of people know it's there. It's like the elephant in the room. They feel it, they feel it, they see it, they hear it, but they don't want to talk about it. It's too uncomfortable. So that's a part of what I am doing, is just opening up a space for people to feel comfortable to come in and just talk about it because it's there. So that's dictionary definitions. Now we're going to get into more personal definitions. All right, so describe an experience or a specific event when you were traumatized. I know you may have many, 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 but let's do the most recent. Let's do the most recent, just one specific event. So I'm gonna say 3 minutes. I'm gonna put on some music. 3 minutes, because this is gonna be a deep dive. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear this music. Sometimes it seems like I'm coming undone. This one can often feel lonely. No matter what I'm doing, I was in where hope can be found. I will stand my ground where hope can be found. Oh, oh Lord, I know you hear my cry. Your love has lifted me above all the lies. No matter what I face this, I know in time you take all that is wrong and make it right. You take all that is wrong and make it right. Your strength is found at the end of my road. Your grace, it reaches to the hurting. Still through the tears and the questioning why, I will stand my ground where hope can be found. I will stand my ground where hope can be found. Oh, oh, I know you hear my cry. Your love has lifted me above all the lies. No matter what I face this, I know in time you'll take all that is wrong and make it right. You'll take all that is wrong and make it right. So right. I will stand my ground where hope can be found. I will stand my ground where hope can be found. I will stand my ground where hope can be found. I will stand my ground where hope can be found. Oh, Lord, you hear my cry. Your love has lifted me above all the lies. No matter what I face this, I know in time you'll take all that is wrong and make it right. You'll take all that is wrong and make it right. Hey, a little bit of inspiration. All right, it's almost time to share. Okay, so what are your hidden traumas? So try to think of 5 different things that trigger you. They're hidden traumas because you don't really know you have them until somebody triggers you. Somebody says something and you're like, oh, what? And it just throws you off and you're like, oh no, right? Try to think of 5 different things that have triggered you and try to pull those triggers and connect them to whatever feeling or whatever happened. Try to connect those triggers so you know where it came from. You can uproot that thing and eliminate it once you identify where it came from. So I'll give you another 3 minutes for this. ring. I lay each one down at your feet. Every moment of my wandering never changes what you see. I tried to win this war, I confess. My hands are weary, I need your rest. Oh, almighty warrior, king of the fight. No matter what I face, you're by my side. When you don't move the mountains, I'm needing you to move. When you don't pump the waters, I wish I could walk through. When you don't give the answers, as I cry out to you, I will trust, I will trust, I will trust in you. Yeah. Truth is, you know what tomorrow brings. There's not the day ahead, yeah, life's hard, no. So in our things, be my life and breath. I want what you are doing and nothing less. When you don't move the mountains, I'm needing you to move. When you don't pop the waters, I wish I could walk through. When you don't give me answers, as I cry out to you, I will trust, I will trust, I will trust in you. Oh, I will trust you. Yes. You are my strength and comfort. You are my steady hand. You are my firm foundation. Through all the I stand. Your ways are always higher. Your plans are always good. The place when I go, you got already started. When you don't move the mountain, I'm needing you to move. When you don't pop the waters, I wish I could walk through. When you don't give the answers, as I cry out to you, I will trust, I will trust, I will trust in you. I will trust, I will trust, I will trust in you. I will trust, I will trust, I will trust in you. I will trust, I will trust, I will trust in you. My jam. One of my jams. Okay, so how does writing help you reveal your hidden trauma? So I'm going to answer this one. So for me, I've been writing forever since I was 12. And my teacher told me, my seventh grade teacher, she was like, I don't care what you write, just make sure that paper is filled up by the time 10 minutes is up. And so that's what started my muscle. Seventh grade, I was 12 years old. I didn't know what I was supposed to be writing. And I felt kind of dumb because I looked around, everybody else was just writing. And I was like, I don't know what I was supposed to write. But the truth was, I had so many issues and so many things that had happened to me. I felt so embarrassed. And I was like, I don't want to write something and then something just flows out. Like, that's why I didn't talk either, because I didn't want something to just fly out and me be like, oh, I can't take that back. Where did that come from? Because I knew I was exposed to garbage. I knew there was a whole bunch of stuff inside of my spirit that I didn't know where it came from because I was raised in a certain environment. So when she said, you need to write, I don't care what you write, I was just really stunned, like, and stuck like a deer in a headlight. Like, what do you want me to write? And then she came over to me, she whispered me, she's like, okay, look, just write the same sentence 50 times and then you're good. And I was like, okay, thank you. Ooh, you just saved my whole life. Because I didn't want to be the only one with nothing on the page. So I was like, thank you. So once you do have a page full and you're like, you look at it again like a week later, you're like, what was I thinking? Oh my gosh, that's what I was thinking. Everything starts coming up. So you can imagine if you're writing every day, 365 days, you got notebooks full, and you go back and read that stuff, you're like, oh, I was really broken. I was really angry. Whoa. The hidden stuff starts to come up, like when you're developing pictures in the dark. Remember how they used to have the little pictures hanging up and it's like the little negatives and you can see, you're like, oh my gosh, look at that. It emerges off the page. So writing reveals the hidden traumas because the stuff that comes out of our heart, we can't stop it. It just flows. It just flows. Woo! Okay, now how does writing help you heal from the hidden traumas? Now that's another level because the healing starts when you really start sharing with people and you start realizing you're not alone. And then you feel so much better. You're like, wow, it's not such a big deal, right? Especially when you're going to therapy, you might have a group therapy. I went to talk therapy and it was painful because I had to do it 2 rounds. It was a 4-week program and I took time off work to go in 2018. I was like, I'm gonna do this. So I went 4 weeks and then I said, oh my gosh, I really didn't contribute the way that I should have. I just kind of was surface level, superficial, giving 1-word answers. That stuff came back to haunt me. 2 years later, I said, oh, I got to go. I enrolled myself in the same program for the second time, 4 weeks, 3 days a week, outpatient. You go in and sit in a chair and it's like 25 chairs in a circle and you just sitting there talking. And I didn't want to, but God drew me back to that same space with the same therapist, the same people, not the same patients, but the same staff. And they knew me already. And they were like, so what's up? I was like, yeah, the first time I didn't really share like I should have. So let me just spill it because I'm ready to be done with this stuff. And so they were like, okay. Every day they were hearing me. I was talking. They had articles. They was giving me articles. I was taking notes, highlighting, like, yep, I know this situation. Yep, I went through this. Yep. And they're like, wow. The staff members were like, wow. I was like, I'll come back and be a guest speaker if y'all want me to. That's how good I worked that program the second go around because I was like, I'm tired of this. I'm not hiding. Mm-mm. And so how does it help heal you? There's so many things that I've been able to heal from, and there's still things that I'm still healing from. But now I'm like, ooh, okay, I know I have tools. I have tools. I know how to use my tools to be effective. So healing begins when the hiding ends. I need to hashtag that. That just popped out of my spirit. Healing begins where the hiding ends. Sometimes it's overnight for people. Sometimes it's instant. Sometimes it's years. But when you come out and you take your head out of the sand and you're like, okay, I'm gonna deal with this, you start getting help. People start coming around that are there to help you. So that's how that's how the writing helps you heal. Okay, so what are 4 steps in the healing process? Okay, so this is what I have seen with myself. There's 4 things, and with the people that I have worked with. And I call this my own signature method. It's called the wish method. The wish. I wish I could heal from this, right? So the W is write. So every single day, there's something for you to write. I don't care if it's a paragraph or a page or 5 pages. Whatever you feel is what you write. So that's the first part. And then inquire. Ask yourself really good questions. Inquire within, inquiring minds want to know. Inquiring minds are asking lots of questions. So instead of, well, man, why am I, and I'll put it back on myself. Why am I eating snacks in the middle of the night? Like, why am I constantly eating snacks when I'm happy, when I'm sad, when I'm celebrating, when I'm bored, when I'm watching TV, when I'm listening to the radio, when I'm trying to do a lap around the track? Why am I thinking about food? Right? Those are questions. The better question would be, well, what am I trying to fill right now? This food. What need is this food filling for me? And I've had to investigate that for myself, you know. And here's another question. Am I really hungry or am I just bored? What's something I can do to get rid of the boredom? Is there a project I can work on? Is there somebody I could call and help? Right? Is there something I could do to be more productive? If I'm feeling some type of way, I get up in the morning, I'm irritated with people. The question is, okay, what is it that's triggering me? Let me stop. What is it that she said? Or what is it that he said? Or what is it that they did? What is it that is triggering me right now? That's been the most effective question that I've asked myself, because I've literally written down a list of all my different triggers. I've done that days and days at a time. And then I will go back and explain to my family members, okay, when you said this, I felt that. And then it's like, oh, I wasn't even trying to do that. I wasn't trying to make you feel that way. Like, I've got that a lot. Like, wow. But then I've also got people say, well, you're so sensitive. How come you're so sensitive? And then my response is, well, how come you're so insensitive? Like, I'm telling you how I feel, and you constantly want to trigger me. So we need to talk about this. And the conversations can become very open and honest, very straightforward and assertive. They don't have to be negative at all, because you're identifying what's going on with you and you're sharing with people, okay, this is what's going on with me. Now, how do you want to handle this? And then it just goes from there. So the better the questions, the better the answers. Speak about it, speak about it, speak up. If someone is pushing a boundary, sometimes we don't realize it until it's already late. We've already gone off on the person. We've already said what we have to say. But think about it for the next time, though. What could I have said to alleviate that stress? What will I say next time so that person is aware, right? I just had to have this conversation yesterday and today with the schedules, because everybody has a schedule and I have a calendar, and I'm faithful to my calendar. So when somebody has a pop-up event, I'm like, oh no, sorry, I have a schedule and I can't do it. So that has, speaking up is one of the things for children of abuse. One of them things that just shows up over and over again. Sexual abuse, verbal abuse. Man, it was so hard for me to speak up for myself because I thought I didn't have the right. I just thought people who are older had higher titles. They could just do whatever they want to do. Turns out I have rights. Turns out one of those rights is to say no. How about that? And it's so much fun when I started learning how to say no. Because then I got so much free time for myself. There's just so much free time now. I'm like, wow, I get to just be by myself and just think and read. It's like, no, I can't do all of that stuff that you have scheduled for me. That's not my homework. That's not my homework. That's your homework. And when you talk about it, people are just like, oh, okay, here you go again. And you kind of have to be a broken record. When you first start saying no, you have to be a broken record, because they're going to test and say, well, I know that's what you said, but let's see what you're going to do. So you even have to talk to yourself. Okay, self, what do you need today? This is what you need today. You just need to relax today. Today is going to be a restful day. So you got to speak. And then you have to ask for help and offer help. It goes both ways. It's a double-sided coin. When you're feeling some type of way, like when I get up in the morning, I'm grouchy. I ate something late that night, too late. It didn't sit well on my stomach. I'm getting up and I'm like, what's wrong with me? I immediately am like, okay, who do I need to call for help? And who can I help to get my mind off of this situation? And when I go through that thought process, that's when I end up being able to walk myself through that negative emotion or that negative situation. So that's the 4, that's the wish, right? Inquire, speak, and help. All right, and that's it. The last question is, what did you learn today? That could just be 1 sentence or 2 sentences. I'll give you a minute, and then I'm going to ask you to share everything you wrote on that paper. So I'll put on a 2-minute song. Let's see, 2 minutes.
The bag has its roots in music. Out of the shadows, bound for the gallows, a dead man walking, so love came calling. Rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up. 6 feet under, I thought it was over, and then said a prayer, the voice of a savior. Rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up. Holy Lord, I came alive.
All right, you ready? Okay, so that is the end of my ebook. It's 20 pages. And as you can see, it's very, very basic. I mean, this took like maybe 45 minutes, maybe 30 to 45 minutes max. And it's what it does is it keeps me focused and on task, just like the outline. It keeps me consistent. So next week, when I teach the same thing, I'm not all over the place because I'm just teaching right here. And I was tempted to create a new slideshow, but I was like, nope, this is the way you're supposed to run your workshops, and people appreciate it because they know what to expect. And I usually send it out ahead of time if I have time. Boom. All right, let's hear what you wrote.
Okay, first, what template did you use to create that?
Oh, let me see. I think I looked up, let me see. I think I looked up ebook. Let me see. I think this is the basic one. Let me see. So I'm gonna go up here to templates. And I'm gonna go in that little search box and do ebook. Yeah, this is the ebook cover. It's just cover templates, but then every time you add a page, it becomes longer and longer. So they only give you 1 page. So like, for example, this one, if I wanted to use this template, see how it only gives me this 1 page, but I can duplicate this if I want this. But if I just want a new page, I just add a page and it's blank. Yeah, so it's either just a regular blank page or it's a duplicate page.
Okay.
And then, you can change all what you want. Yeah, this is the most basic. Because what happens is we get really caught up in pretty. And then we're so creative that we create and then we never get customers because we're so busy creating and we never get people to come in and get the help that they need because we're just so worried about creating.
Okay. So what was the first one?
Oh, do you want me to record this part or you want me to turn off the recording?
Oh, it doesn't matter for me.
The first one was, what's your name? What do you do?
Okay, I am Dashella Trammell. I am a author, speaker, and trainer. My passion is to help wounded and broken women to find their voice and tell their truth. I am an adult training specialist. I train early childhood educators, teachers to make better choices within their classroom. I'm an advocate for children, and I am a quality control for child abuse. What makes me happy? Being at home with my family makes me happy. Going on trips with my family makes me happy. What makes me sad? People that hurt children and people that think that they're better than myself and those that I love. What was another one?
Let
What
me
was
see.
another?
Let me cheat. Let me go
I
back.
went to happy and sad. Um,
There it is. I have it as a PDF too, just in case.
okay. Okay. I did all of that.
You did passion and profession.
Mhm.
Yep. Biggest fear.
Okay. My biggest fear is not working a traditional job, and I have in parentheses, just over broke.
Yeah.
My, yeah, then it goes to what would you try to, if you knew you could not fail? Jump, leap, skip, run out of that place into my passion, which is to continue to work with women, but just to help them to find their voice, to heal. That's my biggest passion. What holds me back is financial judgment. My knowledge and experience, I'm an expert in early childhood. I know that field. Being in a non-traditional role, me for the first time not working a traditional job, and then other people's opinions.
Mhm.
That's what holds me back.
We dug deep into
And,
trauma.
okay.
This one, specific event when you were traumatized.
Okay. And you wanted us to have a recent event. Because
Yeah,
I
the
could talk
most.
about all the stuff that I've been through, but just recently I had to, this is cut off season. Anyone that is not going to be a benefit to my life, I have to cut them off because of my to protect my peace and my sanity. So one of the most recent traumas came from a person who posed as a friend. She became involved with me, my family, my church, my school environment. I also worked for a ministry dance team. She became involved there, became a student. She came in strongly. She came in strongly when she wanted me to help her plan an event, which ended up being all me planning that event. And at the same time, I started losing many family members to COVID-19. So I was very vulnerable. She took my vulnerability and took advantage of me. She called me at least 3 times a day, basically morning, noon, and night. And was the first thing before I even prayed, did my devotion, would call me in the morning because she needed me. She was also jealous of anyone that got close to me. It was narcissism 101, and I had to let it go. It was hard. I cried. I grieved her. She was in my spirit, and yet God told me to walk away, block her from all social media because she continued, because now She doesn't have my attention. So she continued to turmoil, um, just say things and tell lies and things of this nature. I didn't realize that I was traumatized by this event until you said a recent incident that happened. This was this was in March, where God told me to leave her at the altar and walk away. And literally I was in a worship service with tears running down my face and left her there at the altar in Texas and came back to Tennessee. This person will play the victim and blame it on you. So everything became my fault. Oh, it's because of you, it's because of this, it's because of that, and I'm doing this, and I'm treating you like this, and I'm hurting you like this. So I had to cut it off. I had things to do and people to see. I can't be dealing with that foolishness. Okay. What are my hidden traumas? You have 5, I have 8.
There you go. You're digging.
Adults who tickle children is like taking your nails and putting it on a chalkboard for me.
Yes.
People that speak down to me or others, it's unnecessary. That is a hidden trauma because of how I was raised. Disrespectful children that just say mean things to adults and do not care about it. Women that are promiscuous and behave loosely. I wanted to be her. At one point, I may have been her, and now she triggers me. People that think, I think I just said this, people that think higher than they should, think of themselves higher than they should, and think that they are better than me and treat me indifferent. People that ignore me and do not make me a part and do it on purpose. I've heard people say they didn't invite me and it was done on purpose. Because you want to be invited, you want to be a part. I'm still healing through that. Parents who curse at their children. I don't particularly like profanity, but I'm not offended by those that do it. But when you curse at the children, that triggers me. Yeah, because I was called the B growing up. So that triggers me. Sarcastic people who say that I'm too sensitive. I think you said similar. That they say I'm wearing my feelings on my sleeve, because sarcasm sounds like you're getting smart with me. So if you get smart with me, I have the right to get smart back because I don't understand sarcasm. Or depending on who it is, I may ask them, what did you mean by that? So that I'm not in my feelings. But if I don't know you and you're sarcastic, I don't understand it. I think you're trying to come for me. So I come back. And so I'm trying to work on that. But it's hard. I'm from Brooklyn, yo. We don't talk to each other like that. You coming for me, I'm coming back. So, okay. Who's next? And then you did the 4 steps.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. That's at least that's what I have.
And last question.
What did I learn today in one sentence? I learned that I need to ask myself, what do I need today? I kind of did it in 2 sentences, and that it is okay to recognize your sadness.
I'm gonna stop this recording and I'm gonna put on a song for you that you're gonna be like, what?
Let's do it.
Did you recognize the other songs I was playing? Do you know any of those?
No, I don't. I want to know them. They need to be a part of my playlist.
Okay, let me go ahead and end this. Thank you everybody for participating in our discussion. This is our weekly webinar. We'll be back next Friday. If you missed this one, just come on. We're going to be talking about how to write to reveal and heal your own hidden traumas for probably the next few months, because this is just deep. There's a lot of layers, y'all. So we're going to uncover these triggers. We're going to create some new behavior patterns, and we're going to learn, and we're going to inspire people and have fun at the same time. So thank you guys. We'll see you next time.